Hey, this is Matthew Harvey here with the 12 o'clock siren. And on my left hand is James Peanut Fred Hartley.
That's right. Rest in peace, you know?
R.I.P.
Yeah, bring me up a little in my earphones, would you? My headphones. There we go.
You got that?
That works.
Is that better?
Yeah, man. Did you see Kamala's concession speech? Squirrel ran across the stage, and everybody was like, "It's the spirit of Peanut."
I didn't see that. I saw the speech, but I didn't notice that.
It happened right before. I didn't watch much of the speech. How was it?
12 minutes long, and I think it was copy and paste of all of her other talking points with a few motivational lines in there. Squirrel seems to be Pence's fly, if you will.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
The squirrel didn't land on her forehead, though.
I did post the meme, the spicy meme.
Yeah.
I kind of back-ended it. Like, I kind of
I saw you did it lightly.
I did it lightly. Explain some context, then hit it in the comments because I was scared of it. For those of you that know us and listen to us, which I guess is everybody that listens to us, if you want to find a funny meme, go down
Go to James's page
and just start looking at comments.
Oh. All right, so it is November 6th, is that right?
November 6th.
6th, Wednesday, the day after the election of 2024. And boy, was it a shocker? Was it a shocker?
So
to you.
No, it wasn't a shocker that we won. What was a shocker was the manner in which Trump did win.
Yeah.
Decisive electoral blowout.
Yep.
312 by the time it's all said and done, I think.
So. Assuming Arizona and Nevada fall for him.
I think they're 4.5 right now.
Yeah.
So decisive electoral blowout, popular vote, first time in 2 decades for a Republican.
Big time.
Like big time.
4.5 million difference.
5
million, something like that.
The House flipped.
Right.
And we retained control of the Senate.
Right.
Now, what's the second and third order effects of that? We're at the beginning of a new Trump administration, which means Clarence Thomas and Justice Scalia are likely to retire during this administration.
Kind of a big deal.
We'll get 2 more young Supreme Court justices, and how many federal?
Probably a few.
Probably
a few. To step back a little bit, obviously Trump has been the bane of the existence of a lot of people, left and right. Mainly a lot of government types and elite types, right?
Yep.
He's been a problem since day one, 2015, whenever it was, the escalator day.
Yep.
So, he won the first election 2016.
Yep.
COVID came around, clearly a stunt to
X Factor
to remove him in some sort, or show his inability to handle the situation.
Sure.
That, say what you want about it, Biden did what Biden did, and the Dems did what they wanted to do with him.
Sure.
Think about this: had they just let him win another election?
No, they didn't just let him.
Had they?
Oh yeah.
He'd be gone.
Yeah,
and out of their lives.
Here's the funny thing.
But look what happened.
Oh, I know. And here's the thing that is so fascinating to me. Of course, I wanted. I didn't vote for him in 2020, but I wanted him to win in lieu of my candidate winning, which I knew they wouldn't.
Was that Joe? Joe Jorgensen?
Yeah, I was really voting for Spike Cohen.
Yeah.
But he was the VP, But anyway, had they let him win in 2020. It would have been kind of more of the same, right? Like the first Trump term was good, and that's better. Yeah.
You had it flipped.
I did. Anyway, first Trump administration was good.
Off there, trying to figure it out.
But it was not drastically different than Republican or Democrat administrations we had seen before. It
wasn't drain the swamp.
Yeah, and he, admittedly surrounded himself with bad people, neocons, basically, right? That nobody likes, So it would have been more of the same. Well, then when he lost or it was stolen, and we can get into that either. Now the comparisons on those votes, I think somebody should go back and revisit 2020.
Well, the problem with 2020 and the whole COVID thing was it exposed so much of the the BS
Yeah.
in government and politics between the Republican GOP, between the Democrats and the collusion or whatever you want to call it with China. Like, for the love of God, like,
well, so
what a disappointing election to, I mean, expose all that stuff and then go through all of that to lose the integrity of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
You know, that's basically what happened as a result.
Oh, yeah. The realignment has been really fascinating to watch,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so this Trump 2.0 administration is going to be wildly different than his first. From what I can tell, right? Who knows, right? Like,
Sure.
I think a healthy skepticism of any politician is probably warranted.
Yep.
I enthusiastically voted for him this time.
Yeah.
You know, I was introduced to Ron Paul in 2008. I did not vote for him then. Then in 2012, he wasn't on the ballot, but you could write in Ron Paul. In 2016, I voted for Gary Johnson, and in 2020, I voted for Joe Jorgensen. I enthusiastically voted for Trump this time. Dude.
I'm a self-proclaimed libertarian. However, I've always voted Republican. Sure. That being said, the primaries are a different story.
Yep.
I like the vote out the incumbent and or vote your what they say, your
conscience.
Your conscience.
Yeah.
Thank you. That would be my philosophy. Vote out the incumbent, I think, is one of the best campaigns
absolutely
any government can run on. So
for me, the difference about this administration is that I've never seen since I became politically aware in 99, 2000. A lot of platitudes, you know, like, hey, we're going to lower taxes, or we're going to, you know, kind of trying to rein in this special interest or whatever. Trump now has surrounded himself with people who disagree with him wildly, right? One of the main criticisms he's gotten, especially from the left, is he just surrounds himself with yes men because his ego can't take it. You don't get any different people than Bobby Kennedy and him.
Yeah.
They disagree wildly.
Yeah.
But Bobby Kennedy is super, like, passionate about making America healthy again. And he's like, hey, go disrupt this corrupt pharma crap.
And that's what's important. He's not a political jack of all trades necessarily. He's a passionate not one trick pony, but he's got his focus.
Yeah.
And that's what he's good at, and that's how he's going to be used.
Health and environmentalism, right?
Yep.
And then you've got Tulsi, who I kind of like. A lot of people are going to scoff at this, but, you know, Tulsi, I disagree with her on a lot of things. When she ran for president during, I think it was 2016, her and Andrew Yang were in the Democratic primaries. Mm-hmm. And I said, for the first time in a long time, regardless of their beliefs, Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard are people that I'd like to just know.
They were the standouts.
Yeah, like I'd be friends with them, despite, I think, you know, she's a Bernie supporter. Like, I think that socialism stuff's wild and crazy, but they're good people. And Tulsi is a retired lieutenant colonel, served in Iraq, extremely anti-military industrial complex, but not a pushover.
Right.
Like, if we need to go to war, we'll go to war. Yeah. But all this other stuff, we don't need to be doing. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't mind seeing her for Secretary of Defense. Vivek, come on. Dude is brilliant.
Yeah.
And people are saying, well, what's he going to be? Is he going to be the press secretary? He'd be good at that. I'd like to see him as chief of staff. Keep Trump on message.
Would underuse him, though, for his talents. He'd be good at it.
He'd be great at it, but I think chief of staff would be the best because it keeps Trump on message and focused, you know. The Trump campaign is a wildly different campaign than we saw in 2016 and 2020. He was on message. A lot of his grandiosity was gone. You know, he's still Trump.
He's still slinging little insults.
And you know, there's still some mean tweets.
Which is probably what most people dislike about him.
Yeah,
at this point the most.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
I ignore it.
I know there's a lot of this call for like unity and this and to a large degree I want that, right? Like, I want what's best for America, and you know, my opinion and some lefties' opinion is going to disagree, but I want us all to come up. However, there are a few groups where I'm like, COVID people, they don't get a pass.
Yeah.
You know, if you advocated for me not to be able to go to work or to shut my business down or to force feed me this vaccination, you don't get a pass. Your grandparents died alone.
There were some aggressive people back then.
Yeah, and now they're
not to be forgotten.
Yeah,
it pops up in your memories all the time now.
Yep.
You know about this time.
No deal.
Yeah, no deal. It was a tough time to not give anybody some sort of benefit of the doubt or you know, allow them to live their lives.
I don't know,
man. So Elon has told his story about when he was like, after the assassination attempt, he was like, when he saw him stand up, go fight, fight, fight. He goes, that's it. That's my man. That's who I'm, that's resiliency. Blah,
Absolutely.
blah, blah, blah. My moment, if I was on the edge of who I was going to, I would just not vote. Actually,
sure.
I wouldn't vote for the other party. I would just not vote. And that's been what I've done in the past.
Right.
But what made me guaranteed vote is when Trump was asked, what do you plan on being vengeful or getting revenge on whomever it is, on the other side? And he said, our success will be revenge enough.
Right.
And I was like, that is the most perfect answer
that
he could have said. And almost what I was hoping he would say. It's like he read my mind. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
That's a fantastic line.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's known for quotes, but that's a good one.
Hunter Biden, they asked Joe Biden if he was going to pardon Hunter, and he said no. I personally think he should.
Joe wouldn't?
Yeah, Joe wouldn't.
He's on record saying that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I personally think he will, probably, regardless of what he said. I mean,
quietly.
Yeah, just pardon him and whatever. And I'm fine with it, right? I've actually, after doing some research, I've got a lot of empathy for Hunter Biden. He is what his family made him. And but if Joe sticks to it, I hope Trump pardons Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
As a hey, we're not going to just go for the throat of our political opponents.
Yeah.
And Hunter Biden did some legitimate shady stuff.
Oh,
but, maybe not pardon him, commute it, Hey,
we talked about this a little bit earlier, and while I agree, it's a tough one to agree on.
I know it really is.
It's really hard, but in the name of
healing,
unity. And when they go low, we go high. I like the idea of doing that. That'd be very big of him.
Yes, it would.
Bigly.
Bigly.
Is that a word, by the way?
I think it's a Trumpian word.
Is it? Is that just from him?
I don't know.
All right. What about huge?
That's a pronunciation. Yeah,
but it's huge.
Yeah, it's
but I think
huge.
I've seen it written huge.
Well,
is it just a joke now?
Yeah, that's their. I forget what they say when you spell it like phonetically, how he says it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Trumpian too?
Yeah.
I guess.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But what do you know, right? Xi Jinping all of a sudden saying, "Hey, we respect this." Blah blah blah. You're about to see less war. Like,
does he not look like Winnie the Pooh got in trouble?
He does.
Like when he goes sit in the corner, that's what.
Oh yeah.
Ping looks like.
Somebody on Facebook today said, "Well, what am I supposed to do now?" And I said, "Enjoy your lower taxes and less war. You'll be fine."
Yeah.
It's very strange. That guy that was on Tucker Carlson, Mark Halperin or whatever. Well, what happens if Trump wins? I think we're going to see the greatest mental health crisis this country's ever seen. And I scrolled through TikTok today. Yeah, he's not wrong. Like, it is such a strange thing to see all these unhinged people.
I'm going to have to say the outrage is way less right now than it was in 2016.
It is. I think people are exhausted.
Yeah.
But one girl on TikTok as a black woman, she was crying and she goes, "I'm afraid to go to bed." It was during election night. And she goes, "I'm afraid I'll wake up a slave."
Ooh.
Like, that's a wild thing to say.
Pretty drastic.
And especially like what are my gay friends? They're terrified right now. And I'm like, Donald Trump was giving gay couples marriage benefits at his work in the 80s.
Yeah.
He's always been pro-gay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, where does the fear come from?
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It's bizarre.
When Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden were saying marriage is between a man and a woman, Trump was very progressive. And it's like, dude, and look, say what you want. We've all got our own ideas about religion and what's right and what's wrong. The Republican Party, by and large, has moved on from what you do in your bedroom. Nobody cares.
Okay, so to push back on you a little bit, Elon says you better vote this time, and if Trump doesn't win, this is going to be the last election. And he's saying that, citing the influx of what's the word? Amnesty for 20 million swing state illegal immigrants.
I don't think it's a stretch.
Of course, yeah. The way California is basically deadlocked blue now.
Did you notice that the only states causation does not equal correlation. This is just an interesting tidbit.
Yep.
The only states Kamala won is where there's no voter ID law.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, now look,
Did you look up to see if those states are actually no voter ID laws?
Mm-hmm.
But California is illegal to show it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll close their eyes and like it's Elon said like they're a vampire seen across.
Yeah.
You know, like ah.
Well, that's what like if you get pulled over, do you just say I'm going to vote?
Yeah, I'm on my way to vote.
You can't show your.
Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm illegal and I'm going to vote.
As you were. Yeah, it's wild.
It's a really wild time, man.
So we've been going back and forth on the poly market and the election betting odds, and
well, they were right, weren't they?
I've been following the election betting odds for probably 12 years now, and pretty religiously. And past two elections have both been straight up 50-50, 48-48, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Very, very close in the election or in the betting odds.
Yeah.
And this one has been 20-point gap for a solid few weeks.
Yeah.
Then the media is saying that four whales bought up millions and millions of dollars worth of bought in for millions of dollars and tried to inflate the I guess the market or whatever it is, the betting market, to make it look like to set it up for this runaway win, and then it gets quote unquote stolen, and then insurrection 2 happens.
Absolutely.
So that was what we were supposed to believe.
Yes.
And
I was amazed last night as I was watching the poly market stuff. It kept when it swapped to him winning, like predicted to win the popular vote. I couldn't believe
that
it.
was
I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. And then
it did.
Even at 2 a.m., I was like, he's not going to win the popular vote.
Yeah.
Theoretically, not all votes are in, and there probably is enough out there to swing the popular vote back Kamala's way, but I don't think
is there enough out there still?
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think California is really only like 60%.
Yeah,
60% counted. So, but
boy, those 3 states went real quick, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine how that happens. All that population, all those tabulated.
One thing coming away from the race that I'm very excited about was that Virginia wasn't called within the first hour.
Yeah.
And stuck in till like 1 a.m. or whenever they called it, and it was not huge.
Yeah.
And when they called Virginia and I saw the spread in Virginia, I felt a lot better about Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So
pretty good canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
How many times you hear that yesterday?
A lot.
Bellwether.
You know what else I picked up on? And they said it like they've been saying it for every election cycle, but I've never heard it, is the blue or red mirage.
Yeah, that was brought up a lot in 2020 because everybody went to bed with the blue or the red.
Right.
I guess there's a red mirage then.
Yeah.
And then of course that with the COVID and the mail-ins and all that stuff was dumped overnight.
Yeah.
And
there was stuff dumped overnight this year too.
Was there?
Yes. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, all had stuff show up late at night. Now, put on my tinfoil hat. The polls said this was going to be a close race.
Yeah.
Right. So you just need 50,000 ballots here, 100,000 ballots here.
Sure.
Well, when it was too big to rig,
yep.
Right? Tyrus
yep.
and all that.
Yep.
They were like, oh, well, this 50,000 ballots would have helped if we weren't down 300,000 ballots in this precinct.
Right.
Yeah, there's videos. James O'Keefe had people watching all the polling stations. Yeah. And sure enough, dude, trucks in, I think it was Michigan, vehicles with California plates, so I guess rentals maybe or whatever, but vehicles with California plates were dumping stuff. There's video out of it on Twitter.
Get that tinfoil.
Yeah.
Every time Kamala comes out with a word salad response, Tyrus will go, "This ain't even close, man. It's not even close."
Here's the really shocking thing. Kamala, however, did not outperform Joe Biden in a single county.
Wow. Really?
The biggest winner was Trump. The second biggest winner was Joe Biden. And then the third was...
And that's with $1 billion bankroll.
Yeah.
She untaxed, by the way. None of that was taxed. She raised $1 billion pre-tax.
Yep.
And had how many A-list celebrities?
Oh, I mean, geez.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
basically, you're a peasant if you don't support her.
Yeah,
is what I understood.
I think that one of the happiest things that I am about this is the repudiation of that Hollywood elite class, like
all the
to hell
billionaires,
with Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Jay-Z,
straight up billionaires that were on that list.
Please,
they're all demonized.
Ford, tell me how to vote.
Yeah, thanks, Ben Stiller.
Yeah, it's so wild. put the tinfoil hat back on. I think it's because they're all terrified of the Epstein list, of the Diddy list, of all that. And they're like, we can't let him back in.
You hear the stories from all kinds of people. Like Hollywood is, it's a different place. And we go to those parties, those after parties. Yeah, it's all drugs and booze and partying.
You think sex, drugs, rock and roll.
It gets weird at 4 a.m. and it probably gets a little illegal.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to guess it gets a lot illegal.
Not that the drugs are not already, but I'm talking about sexually and
the drugs may be
videos and
the drugs may be illegal, but they're not culturally illegal.
Right.
Satanic pedophile rituals are
taboo.
Are not the same thing. I don't know, man. I'm really, really excited going forward.
So here's a good way to start this. He said this is his first promise.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have the Ukraine Russia thing wrapped up before he gets in office.
I believe he will.
Think so?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea of that plan?
I don't know what the plan is.
I haven't looked into it, but I don't know what that would be.
So
it's got to be a tough thing to accomplish.
Sort of. It's weird, with all the Russia collusion hoax and all that, right? There's this demonization of being on friendly terms with foreign leaders, right?
Yep.
But that's called diplomacy.
Right.
Okay. So here's what I'm obviously not privy to President Trump's plan, but just looking at it objectively, it's been over 2 years since Putin has
They've invaded 2 years ago, right? In January. Or started lining them up right before the.
Yeah. But it's been over 2 years since Putin has talked to the Biden administration. He hasn't talked to Harris, hasn't talked to Biden. So the only thing that gives me pause that he'll have it wrapped up before he's in office is Putin's very legalistic. And so if there is not a legal sort of, like, he didn't talk to Harris not because she's a woman or because she's the vice president, right? Like, she has no authority.
It's below his pay grade.
Below his pay grade, I'm not talking to you. He didn't talk to Joe Biden because Joe Biden didn't reach out to him. They're just funneling money to Ukraine, business as usual, not interested in diplomacy, and he's senile.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it may have to wait till Trump gets in office, but it wouldn't surprise me. But I would think his first step is to just get in a room and say, okay, what's your end all be all here? Okay, well, we can't do that, but we can give you this. There is no reality that we go back to pre-2022 borders. They're going to get some of Ukraine. But you know what? It's all right. Crimea.
What's his goal? Water access? Or
yeah, I mean, the expansion. So, one, we need to pull NATO back, right?
Yeah.
We had promised them that we wouldn't expand. And NATO expansionism is, he said, that's what will get me to do these things. And we did it. And he did those things,
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were being denied access to ports through, NATO expansionism. And so they saw that, look, Putin, good guy, bad guy, don't know, don't care. He's the head of the state, and he's going to do what he thinks best for him and his country.
Sadly, we have to work with that.
Yeah, and that's what we have to work with. So that's big promise. I think day one stuff, though, needs to happen. Everything that can be done with the stroke of the pen. So you executive fiat the hell out of the border.
Mm-hmm.
You pardon Ross Ulbricht of Silk Road. You pardon Edward Snowden, right? You pardon the J6ers, and get that all done like day one. And then you start, you shut the border down, start working on that deportation plan, I guess, I don't know what that looks like.
Do you just reinstate taxes and all that stuff? Is that executive order stuff, or is that
some of that can be, right? It'll probably be challenged in courts, right, and certain things. But I don't understand. Like, I don't know how much leeway does he have to say, "Hey, guess what? We're not going to tax waitresses' tips anymore."
Right.
Like, that's an executive order.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's not like they get that much anyway, right? You claim your credit card tips and not your cash ones.
Yeah, probably not get much cash these days.
Not these days. Yeah.
It's all. I mean, since it's all gone digital. I mean, when I was in the bar business, it was a lot of cash, but there was a lot of credit cards then too. But a little bit of cash.
I know my crypto's going gangbusters right now.
Yeah, market's up.
Yeah,
what 1,200 points.
Yeah,
pretty wild. That's what investors want. Consistency, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think
they just want to know what they're getting into, and they know what they're getting into somewhat. And
the market wouldn't have been bad had it gone the other way. they just need to see how it's going to be, Yeah, but so first order of business is do everything you can day one and get that done. Shut the border down. So Zelensky's got to be pooping his pants.
Yeah,
because he knows that
about to dry up.
That teat's about to dry up. He's getting weaned.
Yeah,
weaned off the boobs.
Yeah, man, the whole democratic process, I tell you, that's been the one thing I can't stand hearing is democracy is under attack.
But no primary. Let us
but
install this.
No primary, like a primary process, like I said on your post earlier, like that's how you figure out who's a viable candidate.
Yeah.
And at least likable, like even though she's the vice president, like, and Biden won it. It's a weird way to do things. The June debate was clear.
Yeah.
That was a make or break moment, and they're like, let's get him out there, figure out what's going to happen. Then we at least
that's why they wanted to do it early.
A little runway. Yeah.
It's the earliest debate in history.
It's so ridiculous to be that early. Yeah.
I want to make my stance clear here, right? Like, so I argued against Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, all the lefties. Never once did you, like, let's just talk about Hillary, because woman candidate versus woman candidate. Never once did you hear me question Hillary's intellect,
right.
Or her being like a competent or formidable person. I thought her policies were garbage. I thought she was a Marxist. I don't like it, but I can see she was Secretary of State. You can see her in the rooms with Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping.
My wife and I had this conversation last night.
Yeah. Like she's a formidable.
If I had to vote for one of the two,
it'd be Hillary. Yeah. I think she's a terrible person.
Yeah.
But so I want to make this really clear. I believe Kamala Harris is an idiot.
Yeah.
Not
it was clear it was charades. It was just
Like, I mean, can she retain knowledge? Yeah, she was a lawyer, right? She was a DA, so she's not like retarded,
right?
But she is not.
There was no thinking off the cuff, and
no. Could you imagine her trying to negotiate, or that goofy vice president of hers trying to negotiate world peace with Vladimir Putin or Benjamin Netanyahu? They would run right over them. Oh, it's hard. We were close to having that.
We dodged a bullet.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
So
okay, more money. Okay, sure.
Yeah, I am a little concerned that we're going to still hemorrhage money to Israel. Netanyahu and Trump have a good relationship, and he's a big fan of the Zionist movement. And which, hey, I'm all for Israel doing whatever Israel needs to do to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I just want them to stop doing it with our money.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the red; they're in the black.
Right.
So why are we giving them money?
Right.
Yep. I don't get it.
Yep.
Sell them weapons. I don't care, but
they got
sell
the money.
Them weapons.
They got the money.
Yeah, don't give them weapons.
Agreed.
Dude,
that's more of our tax dollars killing people at the end of the day, right?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, at least get some benefit. Like we're just giving this away. Like hell, I'd sell it to the Palestinians. Like, you got some money? Let's go. Yeah. I'm just tired of giving money away.
If we're going to be arms dealers.
Yeah, that's largely what we are.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing outside of Israel. The biggest thing that I'm excited about is let's stop trickling money out to every little cause. I've said this before. We either need to go completely isolationist or full-on empirical mode. Okay, we're going to give you some money, but you're basically going to be a vassal state for us.
Right.
Which, did you see the tweet Eric Prince, the founder of Blackwater, CEO and founder of Blackwater, posted about Venezuela? It was a real cryptic, it was like, winter is coming, prepare. And he tagged like Nicolas Maduro and all the high-level politicians in Venezuela. It was very odd. And I'm a big Eric Prince fan, but I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Maybe we are about to go colonial mode.
Yeah. Let's all go to Zuckerberg's Hawaii. Oh, you're going to Hawaii, aren't you?
I am going to Hawaii, yeah.
Go to his little compound on the volcano.
Yeah.
Dr. Evil Island.
It's like a supervillain.
Yeah.
Did you hear what Tim Dillon said about Lindsey Graham?
No.
He was like, I think Lindsey Graham. So first of all, Tim Dillon's a gift.
Yeah. Oh God.
Gay conservative, right?
Yeah.
But kind of, he's funny.
He's hilarious.
He said Lindsey Graham's probably something what should have been, And Joe Rogan goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "A closeted gay supervillain."
Is that the new Rogan?
Yeah.
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 I
It's a
love
good episode.
listening to Tim Dillon. He's got the accent that I would typically classify as the most obnoxious accent in the world.
Yeah.
But I enjoy it. He does it well, you know.
Yeah. He's a gift.
He's hilarious. Have you watched his show on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's not.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not like
His
quality
stand-up's
production.
good. That is kind of.
His intro is probably the best part about
Yeah,
it.
it really is.
And then him making fun of everybody, like in the crowd, and then on
Yeah.
stage, he just roasts folks.
Lord, he's large though.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, like you need to get healthy, brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's doing well. I think he was a result of Kill Tony somehow.
Really?
Yeah, I think they found him in L.A. In the early days. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
How about Tony Hinchcliffe's joke landing 2 weeks
How
later?
about my boy tearing it up at the Madison Square Garden again?
Yeah.
And basically causing a huge commotion for 4 days? He was the #1 topic on every news station. The View,
Yep.
every cycle had him.
Racist.
Oh, he got it, boy.
Turns out Puerto Ricans didn't care.
Puerto Ricans didn't care
They
at
just
all.
thought it was funny.
Yeah. And
Or didn't think it was funny, but they didn't care.
and nobody bothered to check out the actual floating garbage patch in the ocean.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
And they said though that they were joking on Rogan today. They were like, if Trump would have lost, we would have had Tony go into hiding though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's
He got Rogan endorsing him the day before.
yeah, a little late there.
A little weird.
A little late there, Joey.
Kind of would have just not endorsed
Well,
him.
he had already tacitly.
Wouldn't have shock.
Yeah, because I mean, 3 days before when he had the dudes from Trigonometry on there, he said, "I never thought I would vote right wing, but the tides of culture has shifted."
Right.
Well, that's an endorsement,
Yeah.
you know.
I love how the podcast game became a player. And it makes so much. I mean, John Stossel's been saying this for years.
Yeah.
Rogan has obviously been saying like long format works.
It does.
And that's the only way you're going to get any sort of traction with the candidate, you know, and get actual ideas across and speak about
Yes.
things openly.
Well, and I'm here to tell you, I want to make my stance very clear on this. One thing I agree with Trump wholeheartedly is that legacy media are absolutely the enemy of the people.
Yeah.
They're the enemy of truth for sure because they help spin narratives. You know, sometimes it is true, sometimes it's not, but they don't care about the truth.
Yeah.
That was the biggest. I mean, I understand why Kamala didn't go on Joe Rogan because she couldn't do 3 hours.
No way.
But that was the biggest flub of her campaign. Not only did we see Trump on Rogan and JD Vance on Rogan, we saw RFK on Rogan. Tulsi's been on Rogan several times.
Yep.
I think was Vivek on him? I think.
Yeah, he's got to have been.
Yeah. Well, we saw all of Trump's people, right? We haven't seen anybody.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't tell you what Walls was doing
Now,
as far as getting out there and doing stuff.
he was doing the Steve Buscemi meme. Hey there, fellow kids. Right?
Yeah.
You know, because it's like
Yeah.
he's playing a video game with Mountain Dew. I mean, that's a stereotype.
Yeah.
you
My
know?
dad said he called a play and it was a pick six.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like,
God.
oh.
I couldn't understand what he was saying. Like, what?
Yeah.
He called that
Kamala
play?
runs a mean pick six.
Oh no.
And he deleted it because it's like, oh, you never were a coach, were
Oh
you?
my God.
Like that was a
Even-
lie,
even
just
my
like
dad knew.
everything else. You're right. Sports ball,
Yeah,
right?
Sports.
Never served in combat. Did anybody do any opposition research on him
Right.
before? That was the worst VP pick ever.
Bad pick.
Here's another VP thing. Had Trump won in 2020, Mike Pence would still be VP,
Right. Yeah.
possibly running for president.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I like.
JD Vance is.
I like the way
man,
you
dude.
said it. That JD Vance makes us realize how useless Pence was.
Yes, and let me make this clear. I was completely cold to the JD Vance pick. I was like, I mean, he wrote a cool book 10
Right.
years ago.
Right.
Like, whatever. Oh, man.
That dude's got it.
Exceeded every expectation I had.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, we're going to see a more consequential VP than we ever have. Because we know it's Trump's last thing,
Mhm.
right? So I think he's going to delegate a lot to JD to, you know, have him set him up for 2028.
Yeah.
And I hope that's true. You know,
Yeah.
he's a stud, man. I think arguably, he was probably the smartest person on either ticket.
The interesting thing in this situation now is Trump's old, which, by the way, age was not even a factor, not even a discussion topic about this election, which is interesting.
Yeah, so I don't care about age. I care about cognitive ability. I would vote for Ron Paul right now.
Yeah.
And he's like 90.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's with it.
Yeah.
You know?
So he's approaching 80. That's people naturally decline. Yep. Let's say Trump naturally declines. We recognize it. I don't think there's a hesitation
to say, hey, man.
To go, hey. Well,
I'm not 25th Amendment.
I'm not going to say he's going to do it, Trump. Yeah. But I'm not saying there's any hesitation that J.D. Vance can't fill in those shoes.
Oh, absolutely.
Versus, we got why didn't they pull Trump or pull Biden?
Because you would have Kamala Harris with the nuclear codes.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
So that's what I'm saying is like a huge difference.
No, I'm looking forward to the 2028 Vance ticket.
Yeah. Then devil's advocate, are you going to recognize Trump's decline when it happens?
Oh, I promise you I will. I've recognized a mild decline.
Because this is, we've noticed Biden's. Let's be
fair.
Let's play.
I've noticed a mild decline, but nowhere. I mean, nothing concerning.
I would notice most of it in maybe speech pattern or the way, like maybe the sound of voice or something. But I haven't noticed any cognitive.
Gets a little tired, I think.
But
he's almost 80.
He's pretty consistent through his career.
And his energy's wild.
Yeah.
Like,
I couldn't imagine, 4 more years of this now.
No, my gosh, dude.
Like, not getting a break. He's been campaigning for 2 years.
I'm scared for the next 2 months. He should hole up in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. My wife said he should become a hologram.
Yeah.
And just stay in Mar-a-Lago and go tour as a hologram.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Elon could do it.
Elon could do it. Or like
Elon should have a hologram made up for Trump already, so he can just not use all those carbon, all that jet fuel going everywhere.
We're green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
man.
Use the Neuralink.
I'm extremely excited for the time to come. I think it's going to be a bumpy 2 years economically.
Yeah. So what does that look like? Are we going to see prices fall? Are we going to see wages increase? Are we going to see more like how does that equal out? And what policies and what things put that in place?
So you can't turn anything on a dime, right?
Yep.
So I think we're still going to see some inflation, right? One of the things that scares me that Trump did in his first term that I didn't love. Was he also printed a metric S ton of money. We have to stop doing that. But there's also I'm not an economist, right? So I don't know what the ramifications are if you just stop doing it. Do you have to wean yourself off of it?
That's what I've always asked about agencies and cutting all the bureaucracy or all the the government workers and stuff. Like, where do they go? Like, because those are people that do rely on things for for money and their income. So where do they go in the private sector, and how does that work out?
So I think the first year you cut half, right? You cut half of it. That's huge. And it'll take a couple years for them to absorb. But the next year you cut it by half again, so it'd be like 25%, because I definitely think, but I have a plan for that. If it were me, I would say anybody who's eligible for retirement right now, congratulations, you're retired. If you are within 10 years of retirement, congratulations, you're now Border Patrol. Or you can quit.
Yeah.
You can take early retirement, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not sitting up in this office anymore. You're going to be down on the border with a radio and a gun and being useful, and then as soon as you want, you can retire.
Yeah.
So, and we're not backfilling your position when you go, I wonder who's going to head up DHS. That's
kind of a insidery job.
Yeah. I mean,
isn't it like a Washington guy, or isn't that kind of like it? I mean, obviously it's always followed that pattern, but
the thought is there are things I like and don't like about Ron DeSantis. He would be fantastic at that job because, one, he's very anti-illegal immigration, and two, he's a wonderful administrator. So get him in there, let him do it. If he has an heir apparent in Florida, I don't know.
Florida seems to like him.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job there, right? So.
I'm shocked he was never picked for anything or didn't do better.
He wasn't loyal enough.
Yeah, I was expecting coming out of COVID that he'd be a bigger player, and a bigger personality.
So here's the problem. The GOP of our grandfathers is dead.
Oh yeah.
They don't realize it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so, DeSantis was real tied in with the Bushes and all that. He's kind of in that transitional period between old elite uniparty neocon, whatever. And so he believed him when the GOP said if Trump's in the race again, the GOP will lose. He believed him. That ego got to him, and he said, "I'm the guy for this job." So he ran, and he really Trump got him elected in Florida.
Yeah,
and then he turned his back on him.
Yeah,
that was a dumb move.
He's got a very politician voice and cadence, and
very.
That's what I don't like about him.
Oh geez, who was our before Wheels? Who was our governor?
Rick Stacy.
No.
Rick Perry.
Rick Perry, goodness.
Rick Stacy sells furniture in Allen.
That's right.
Jeez. They both burn money.
Yeah. Rick Perry and Ron DeSantis kind of remind me of each other, like sort of that boot wearing,
boot and suit wearing.
Yeah. Politician.
Yeah.
But I say all that, and I hate all that. He is a wonderful administrator. So.
Yeah. Greg Abbott's, I've probably discussed this on the show before. His accent, is it Texan or what?
I don't know.
Do you think it's weird?
Yeah, dude.
My wife just couldn't hear it last night listening to him.
It's a little weird.
But he's got a very odd one.
Yeah, it is weird.
I don't know if it's maybe really old school Texas.
So on one hand, I'm glad to see that Texas stayed red. On the other hand, I hate Ted Cruz.
Yeah,
it's like
kind of stuck with him.
Yeah, I mean, what's so funny about Ted Cruz is he's very high IQ.
Yeah.
But too politician-y for me. Just kind of goes the way of the political winds. Oh, now he's a Trump supporter. After he made fun of your wife, dude. Like
she doesn't let him live that down.
Oh,
you know that?
No, like whether it was the end of my career or not, you can't. As a dude, you can't let that happen.
Be buds.
Yeah, like now he's just kissing the ring, and you're like, bro, you got no spine.
Yep.
I'm so looking forward to the mean tweets.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
So does he continue the pace, you think? Of that sort of stuff?
No. Well, I mean, it's noticeably less now since Elon let him back on Twitter. I guess maybe on True. I'm not on True Social.
A little more measured.
A little more measured. Not quite. I mean, he does the Lion Kamala or Lion Joe Biden stuff. That's I'm
kind of shtick. That's
and that's not super mean to me, right? Like that's just kind of politics, childish politics. I'm talking about the ones where he really goes for the throat. What did he say on Rogan? He was just like, that guy is a scumbag, like just absolutely character assassinates people,
Was that
I think he was talking about one of his generals or whatever.
I was thinking it was Governor Newsom.
Newsom.
Yeah.
Talk about a scumbag.
I like how he's over explaining the names he gives.
Yeah, like we got it, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
did you get that too?
Yeah.
What was the show he was making fun of? I forget now. No, I forget. One of those MSNBC shows. Joe Scarborough, dude. The whole FU Joe Biden best version ever. I've known this guy my whole life.
That's why they're the enemy of the people.
The best version I've ever seen 2 weeks later. Yeah, he needs to be replaced.
So older Gen X and boomers are the only thing that's keeping legacy media alive, right?
Probably me.
Well, yeah, a few of yous, but it's the older generation. Once they age out, it's gone, dude. Yeah. Especially now, like
it's already going podcast as far as campaigning goes, and
what happens when they outlaw pharmaceutical advertising? CNN's going under. That's the only revenue.
Only thing propping them up.
Yeah,
you're right.
And they should. We're one of 2 nations in the world, and the other one being New Zealand. And New Zealand is extremely strict about what they allow.
I know RFK's brought that up. Is that on his agenda to accomplish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Trump talked about it in the Rogan.
Yeah, thing. Okay. I remember hearing that too.
No, listen to me. I want to see all of this gutted and burnt to ashes.
Yeah.
I know that J.D. Vance, talk dirty to me, J.D. Vance. Gross. He wants to he wants to look at banning the ATF.
Mm.
How long have I been beating that drum?
Since 1993?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much, right? I've got like chocolate around my face as a kid.
Since the Waco tour.
Yeah. So anyway, here's Oasis. Yeah. But yeah, so he's mentioned concern about the ATF. Obviously, the intel agencies have too much power and have to be reined in. I think you got to gut it. Whether you completely dismantle them, I don't know. But there is no reason that the federal marshals can't do the FBI's job, and there's no reason that the Defense Intelligence Agency can't do the Central Intelligence Agency's job.
Yeah.
Like, it's just absolutely fine.
Why the combination of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms?
And explosives. BAFTI.
Oh, is it?
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
I didn't know the E was in there.
Yeah.
ATFE?
Yeah, it's ATF is what everybody calls it, but it's BAFTI, really. Yeah, it's like that movie with Nicolas Cage, Lord of War.
Yeah.
And the ATF agent shows up and he goes, well, I'm guessing this is not about the alcohol or tobacco. You know? But what kind of person signs up to work for the ATF? You know? Like,
that type.
Hey, your barrel's too short. Like,
yeah.
Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
You know? The IRS and the ATF are two organizations that I don't think good people sign up to work for. Sorry. If any of
Would you say the ATF and IRS?
IRS, yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. The IRS needs to be much smaller.
And the county tax assessors.
Oh, well, we got plenty of local corruption to talk about.
Oh, man.
But now we can start on the federal corruption, and maybe we can all turn to our state and local government.
Yeah. Put a fire under the feet.
Yeah. Like,
they work for you.
Thing that makes me like happy and going to sleep well tonight is knowing that there are a lot of people that are terrified. I'm not talking about the
It sounds deviant, James.
Well, I'm not talking about the unhinged leftist that's worried that, you know, well, he's coming for my gay friends.
I'm going to protect them whether they like it or not.
Yeah, like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones on the Epstein list, and I'm talking about
gotcha.
I'm talking about the DOJ. I mean, the DOJ dropped all their charges against him.
I saw that.
Tell me that doesn't give
that's crazy.
Give light to the lie, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on, you know? It's so weird too. It's so funny how low information people are. I was involved in a discussion on Twitter, and this person, I said, well, you know, at the very least, like whether he committed this crime or not, at the very least, the fact that you used novel legal theory to upgrade misdemeanors to a felony that were outside the statute of limitations gives at least the perception that it's targeted lawfare.
Right.
And they're like, I disagree that they did that. And I'm like, no, that's not up for debate. That's their words.
Yeah.
We used novel legal theory to, you know, like, what's the source on that? So I just did a quick search, right? Just put a screenshot, MSNBC, CNN, left-wing things, and they're like, investigating the novel legal theory, and they're like, well, I don't think op-eds are a source. And I'm like, Jesus, people. Their own words. Read the article.
Right.
They admitted that. So that's not up for debate. You can think it was a good thing to do or a bad thing, but it's not up for debate. But they don't even, you know, it's just my tribe. Like, we have a mutual friend, right, that still called me delusional for saying that Trump didn't say the very fine people thing as reported.
Right.
He called me delusional. I'm like, the video is right there, but I'm delusional.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting on Tim Dillon and Rogan. It was great to hear Rogan say, hey, look, when Obama was president, I felt really good about him being president. I didn't really pay attention to politics, but I thought he was like this a good example of a statesman, which on the surface you would say, right?
Sure.
Great orator, you know, he's got charisma and all that.
Yep.
Measured, you know, no mean tweets, all that.
Yep. Everything's focus grouped.
Yeah, yeah. And
which is what I've never wanted
exactly
in a president.
But he said, and then I realized when he stood up at that Kamala Harris rally and brought up the very fine people hoax.
He did it again. Yeah.
He said, I realize he's like a liar like all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
A Facebook friend of mine mentioned I'm going to protect women whether they like it or not and equated it with abortion rights. I'm like, that is so dishonest.
Yes.
To say that, and he's got his flaws. That's what I said. Trump's got his flaws. Pick them apart.
Yeah.
But it is dishonest to be saying this,
right,
and to be accusing in that. I mean, 50 different things you could say.
Or how about
negative about Trump?
How about they say that he's calling for Liz Cheney to be
oh
put
my
in
God,
front
that
of
was
a
so
firing
dumb.
squad?
So dumb.
He said, no, like, it's easy to go to war when you're not the one fighting it. How about you get out on the front lines and have those rifles pointed at you?
Bloodbath hoax. Complete BS.
Yeah. Figure of speech.
I mean, every
I saw a great quote. I think I posted it not too long ago. The left takes Trump literally, not seriously.
Right.
And the right takes Trump seriously, but not literally.
Yeah. So that's basically like how Gutfeld says it. Like, I put my feelings aside because sometimes he says things that I may not feel good to me. But when I see actions, I'm like, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's funny though, because the left can't put their feelings aside. They ran a campaign based on vibes.
He may not be my favorite person in the world.
I'm not voting for my priest
over for dinner or something.
Yeah. Not voting for my priest.
Hopefully he fights for all of us. And that's all we can ask.
Well, I'm sorry, whether you like him or not, lower taxes is you're gonna enjoy that. You're gonna enjoy not having your friends and family go to war.
Yeah.
That's for all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not being force-fed an experimental gene therapy through a corrupt pharmaceutical? Guess what? That's a win for you, too.
Yeah.
But prior to 2020, nobody trusted Big Pharma.
Right.
And then half the country all of a sudden said they were the greatest people on earth.
Mm-hmm.
How many billions did they make? Like $9 billion on the vax?
Lots of billions.
They told us that you would not get or transmit COVID if you got the vax, and they never even tested if that were the case.
Yeah.
But that was deemed misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, how many times have you seen our mutual friend that I discuss later call me a fascist?
Yeah.
Right? Then I see Rachel Maddow say, well, Kamala wins.
It stops with you.
Well, Kamala wins, and Elon Musk, we need to be rethinking all of his governmental contracts with SpaceX and Starlink and all that. So what you're saying is, because he doesn't speak like you want him to speak, and doesn't think like you want to
hold
think,
humanity hostage.
You're going to hold humanity. Sounds a bit fascist. You effing hypocrites.
Yeah.
God.
She's the worst. Just take the vaccine. It stops with you then.
Yeah.
It ends with you.
Yeah,
if you just take the vaccine.
Yeah. Take it.
All lies.
Yeah. My body, my choice, right?
Yep.
No. Anyway.
You're a big X guy. Formerly known as Twitter.
Yes.
Even you were confused when I said that just now.
I was.
You're like,
what?
Man, hold on. Yeah. You're talking about the nightclub?
Yeah.
X, Twitter. I listened to the Elon, a little bit of his episode the other day. He was talking a lot about community
notes.
Community notes.
It's amazing.
Explain it real quick because I don't use it enough to understand it. And I thought something was funny that community notes is kind of like the new Maury Povich. Like when it comes to this topic,
you are wrong.
You are wrong. Yeah.
So
community notes says you are not the father. Something like that.
Well, let me.
But that's the funny part I got out of it. But I don't know exactly how it works and how it is legit.
Well, let's
as
use
a factual checker, right?
Let's use X and use their AI to give us a short description of community notes.
Okay.
Just so we can.
Is that going to talk?
No, I'm going to just read what it says.
Okay. We can hook you up to the Bluetooth if you need it.
No, it doesn't. It's not audible. Community Notes is a feature on X, formerly Twitter, designed to combat misinformation by allowing contributors to add context or fact checks to posts. These notes are created through a community-driven process where contributors can propose notes on potentially misleading content. The visibility of these notes is determined by an algorithm that seeks agreement from users with diverse viewpoints, aiming to reduce bias. The system does not represent X's views, but is intended to provide users with additional helpful context to interpret posts. So, like, me and you both could be community notes fact checkers, right?
Okay.
And say the Very Fine People hoax.
Right.
I could go on there and say, well, actually, here's my community notes. Actually, he did say that. And, and I could say it how I want to make it seem like he said it. But other community notes people go, well, here's the video. And that algorithm takes that wide branch using AI and goes, these guys are right. And
use the wider piece of evidence or the more complete
complete viewpoint. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So
that's what the diverse viewpoints means.
Yes, and it's very.
And it can figure out and sort out what's the most reliable or
because you got fact checkers on Facebook, right?
Yeah,
and they're all just lefties,
right?
And they're like,
they're
no,
people.
Actually, the Russian or the Hunter Biden laptop story was Russian misinformation. You're like, that's a lie.
Yeah,
we know it's a lie.
Yeah,
but they still fact check you and you get banned.
It's crazy.
So
I don't think I've ever gone to Facebook jail.
I have multiple times.
Not a real jail.
Yeah, I've done that too, but
I don't think I've ever gone to. I don't get too wild on there, to be honest.
I don't anymore because they got really sensitive. Because, look, man, first of all, some of the memes I post, I don't even agree with. They're just funny.
Yeah.
And so, we'd post stupid memes, and I've gotten hit with some, from years ago.
Yeah.
They're like, this meme you posted in 2012, and I automatically cringe. I'm like, oh, God, what is this? Because
I didn't see the Me Too coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't. That was before that moment, Anyway.
I mean, we used to use Facebook in the 2000s.
2006 is when I joined.
Yeah, so, good Lord, what could be out there?
Yeah, I think it was 2006.
You ever get one of those memories? It's like 2008 memories, like, geez.
Oh,
let's hide that one.
How many times I've deleted stuff? I'm like, that was an ignorant thing to say. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the ultimate humbler.
Oh, it is. And what's horrible about it is you can delete it all you want. It's still sitting on a server somewhere.
Yeah.
What is kind of funny, though, is to think that some fart joke I told or something will take up space on a server until the heat death of the universe.
Some alien's going to zoom in here and just scan a server and be like, ah,
yeah, nice.
Dad joke.
Nice. Oh, man, that's funny.
That'd be funny.
Well, about an hour in, I don't know how much anybody got out of this. This
is just for us.
Yeah,
it's not for anybody else.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, I don't care if anybody hears it.
Oh yeah, sure.
This is therapy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what my therapist tells me.
My closing argument is, you're all going to be fine, Trump haters.
Yeah.
You may not like that, the culture war. The culture war is a secondary issue for this administration. So you're going to still have me hey, if you want to trans your kids, I'm still going to call you a disgusting degenerate.
Yeah.
But you're not going to see a lot of that from this administration. They're focused on real issues like the economy, less war, and those things.
Kind of the basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Fundamentals.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? All this fear-mongering about he's going to ban abortion. He obviously is not going to ban abortion. But do you know if the dollar collapses, nobody's getting abortions?
I know he's not going to encourage them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure of that. That's pretty safe.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
That's fair, right? But if the dollar collapses, you're not even going to have health care.
Yeah.
It's and that's the things that are at stake this go round, I mean, our just to service our debt, the interest payments alone are bigger than our national defense budget. Our national defense budget is bigger than the next five national defense budgets combined.
Yeah, it's insane.
We have a spending problem. We don't have a taxable revenue problem. If we have money enough to give to other countries, we're taxing our own citizens too much.
Yeah, that's what it was, tariffs rather than income tax.
Yeah.
It's an interesting proposition. I don't know how it works long term or short term, but
let's give it a try.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
Taxes are inflation. That may be true.
Yeah.
But not if you don't have income tax.
Right.
So is it a wash? Is it beneficial? Does it hurt? I don't know.
Well, but it's also
enough to field that one.
It's also political leverage, right? You've been to Europe several times.
Yeah.
How many Ford F-150s you see in Europe?
0. I've never seen a Chevrolet, and that's the one example he used in with Angela Merkel. Where are your Chevrolets? We don't have Chevrolets. I've always been like, why are there no and there's cars over there that we don't have here.
Yeah.
They're your Peugeots.
You can get Chevrolets over there,
right?
You just pay an exorbitant
it's probably not
tariff.
Worth it.
Yeah, but we allow them to sell all of their cars here to compete with ours.
Yeah.
No, man, we got to put tax on that.
Right.
And why can't we get a Toyota Hilux here? Why is that a banned
Hilux?
truck? That's what you see all the terrorists riding around in technicals. They put guns in the back.
Yeah, the Toyota Terrorist. I thought it was called a Terrorist.
Yeah. No, it's a Hilux.
It's part of their terrorism division.
Regime change on a budget. You know, they're awesome trucks, and like I saw a ton of them when I was in South America, and they're like $20,000. They're just awesome.
I know there's like a running joke that Toyota's got to deal with the terrorists. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they kind of do.
Sort of,
I guess.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
But anyway, yeah. So the tariff thing, it's political leverage too. It's like, okay, well, and how many ways can that go? Like, well, we'll ease this tariff if you drop your oil prices, or whatever the thing is. So
I thought an interesting solution to some of the migrant issue would be if you're seeking asylum and or here illegally, then you have to pay for somebody legally coming here, and you have to sponsor them.
Then self-deport.
And we'll warp speed them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You do all the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
To get them in because they've been waiting.
Yeah, it's really wild. I had an immigration talk with a friend of mine who's obviously on the opposite side of this election than I am, and I want to be careful about how I say this. Immigration is an issue that touches everything.
Yeah.
Housing, used car markets, healthcare, social services, like wage
supply
suppression.
and demand. It increases demand and lessens supply.
Right
off the bat.
Well, I mean, so like again, I'm not saying I'm advocating a huge deportation or whatever. There's some things to think through that, but housing, my kids probably won't ever be able to afford a house if things keep going the way they're going. What happens if you deport 20 million people and you get 5 million homes on the market? Well, now you've increased demand.
That's almost double what Kamala was proposing to make in her first 4 years.
So, like,
they're technically eating up American households.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, if you increase the supply, there's a high demand, but then you increase the supply, your price is going to go down.
Right.
And like that is so. Here's something.
Well, it's one of those things where, you know what, government, you put me in this situation.
Yeah.
It's your fault.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds very familiar.
Yes.
You guys dropped the ball.
Yep.
And why can't we just fix it?
But we're the one that's got to eat it.
But I'm the bad guy that's got to fix it.
Yep. It does sound very familiar. Here's if Mr. Trump, Mr. President,
he's listening.
Next time you listen to the 12 o'clock siren, just pause on this one and let it marinate a little bit. Go to BlackRock.
Yep.
And say, we're seizing all of your single-family residences. We're seizing them. They're done.
Yeah.
They're ours now. Now, Mr. President, take all of and Vanguard and all of these other ones that have however many millions of homes. Now say anybody with a net worth of whatever the number is, 500,000, 250,000, whatever is middle class to like lower middle class or poor, if say we're going to sell this, we're going to start the auction off at $25,000. We're going to sell to, whatever. And let's help the middle class here. Mm-hmm. And you'd have never heard me, in all the years you've known me talking about government going after big business, but I am realizing we are a corporate oligarchy, and there is a certain, like, look, if you start a business, I don't care how rich you get. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you can make $1 billion off kickbacks or this venue, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't care. And you can pay a janitor $20 an hour while you make $5 million a year. Don't care.
As long as it's a agreed upon relationship.
Yeah, voluntary transaction.
Yep.
However, if you go public with your company,
it changes things.
And you take government subsidies, airlines, banks, then there's some rules you got to play by. You're
performing for different people now.
Yeah, and you as the CEO can't make 5,000 times what your lowest employee makes. Mm-hmm. That's not good for anybody. Yep. Now again, a completely private company, I don't care how rich you get.
Right.
But hey, we give you money because COVID happens and nobody's traveling, and we give you money. You can't use that money for stock buybacks to enrich your executive class.
Yep.
Face the wall.
Yep. Face the wall.
Face the wall. There's a lot of face the wall people that I have. So
hot takes. Face the wall. Hot takes.
Yeah.
I had something else there, but I totally forgot what it was. in our chatting. I was too busy thinking Barron Trump is a subscriber to the 12 o'clock siren.
Barron Trump, I wouldn't surprise if Barron Trump has worked on some algorithm deal with Elon Musk, because he seems to know about every culturally relevant thing in the world, and he guides his dad perfectly on it.
Yeah.
No dad, no father.
How do you think he's doing at NYC, or was it NYU? Sorry.
I bet he is doing well. He's like 7
He's got himself
13 and
got himself a gold dorm.
yeah, just sitting in there,
7'13". Is that what you said?
contemplating what his empire is going to look like.
Yeah,
because he's the second coming of
yeah,
Julius Caesar.
Barron
Marcus Aurelius.
Barron 28.
Yeah, no, it would
32.
be 40, I think.
Oh, he's got age, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
35 years
Forgot
old.
about
So,
that.
so it'd be 2024's Trump Vance. 2028 is Vance Tulsi, Vance Vivek. I don't know.
Do you think it ever goes to the kids? They get involved. I mean, they're obviously involved
I think
pretty
Barron
heavily.
will be involved.
You think so?
Yeah.
Not Don, not Eric, not Laura.
Nah.
They're all,
They had their taste of it. Don't like it. They're aging out. They don't care.
yeah.
Barron's going to be.
What's his
He's
thing gonna
been
be?
anointed.
Yeah. Is he
Did you
gonna-
see that? Did you see, so I hate the term libtard, right? It's that, but you see that meme where it's like, "Leave the libtards to me, father," and it's a picture of Barron Trump, and they've shrunk Melania and Trump down to like
man.
knee size, and he's like a giant, you know.
Fool's tall.
He's 6'9", I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah.
He
So-
towers over them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Funny. Yes, father, I can see their tears. Anyway.
Anything else?
Man, I don't think so. I think we rambled. I really wanted to have some concise points here. Maybe I'll work something up my off time, but
Try to
we'll
throw
hit
out
it again.
some topics we've been discussing.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
look, like again, closing arguments. Enjoy your fewer wars and your lower taxes and a strong economy, and don't worry about the culture war.
success will be our revenge.
Yeah.
And I think that's good for everybody.
Yeah, your
And I
401ks.
hope,
are about
hopefully
to go up.
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, hope so. Hope so.
We won't want that. I hope that 4 years ago.
And I'm already dreading the next election cycle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. It's about to kick off, and you want to go to DC, January 20th. I'm thinking about it.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Just drive in, drive out. Think about that.
Yeah. Go siren on the road.
Kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, let's think about that. All
Anywho,
right, brother.
All right, man. Take it easy. Happy Election Day. Go America.
Yeah. Later.